Frank, alongside his lifelong friend, Kev. Prepare to have your mind blown away as we lock in for Frank's Stone Cold Lock of the Week, baby.
Welcome back to another episode of Lock of the Week! Today we'll be covering topics such as the NBA Finals, NHL Stanley Cup Finals, and the Money in the Bank! And let's get right into the video.
NBA Finals.
First order of business. NBA Finals. Let's talk about the New York Knicks and the Pacers. Now, it's nothing new that the New York Knicks lost again. Sorry about that, Francesca. Hopefully they get it soon. But the Pacers totally dominated. And the NBA Finals are coming up, so we got to pick between the Pacers or the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, give me some of your thoughts on just the NBA overall right now.
I'm 90% sure Halliburton sold his soul to win against the Knicks. I feel bad for Timothy Chalamet. My prayers go out to him and his family. But obviously, the Pacers are gonna beat the Thunder. He made a deal with the devil.
Did he now?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, he did. So obviously they're gonna win. There ain't much you can do about it. But hey, I got Halliburton winning for what is it? How does it work?
Pacers.
Winning.
Pacers winning.
The lock is in.
Into our next segment.
Stanley Cup predictions.
All right, we're gonna keep this segment short, sweet, simple. Now we got the Stanley Cup Finals coming up. You see, the whole division of the NHL was there's a couple of teams up there, and specifically the Canadians. The Canadians got knocked out immediately. Florida teams got up there.
Canada 0, America 1.
Oh yeah! Anyways, so now we're down to the Florida Panthers and the Oilers. And do we really have to go into that? We already know who's gonna win. The Panthers! And who's gonna get them points?
Matty Tkachuk.
Anyways, that's gonna be a simple takeover. It's gonna be too Tkachuk and easy. And we got that on the lock.
The lock is in.
Damn. Anyways, let's get into our main event of the video.
Money in the bank.
Alright, for our main event of the video, we're gonna be talking about Money in the Bank! Now let's start off with the men's qualifiers. We got Solo Sikoa. He's a chump. He was in the bloodline. He didn't really do much. The only loser for sure. The only thing he's got going for him is Jeff Cobb and Jacob Fatu, and it doesn't look like they mess with him that much.
Jacob Fatu's got a better everything than
it should have been Jacob going up there. Maybe he could have gotten a title, but let's go into the next. LA Knight. Yeah. Now we got LA Knight. He's our second favorite because we got someone up here on the list that we got as our favorite, but LA Knight will be one of our favorites.
Number one.
He's great on the mic, great all around.
And everything amazing.
Yep.
Everything.
I was there for the movement. Next we got Penta. Penta's an up-and-coming luchador coming from other company, AEW, AAA, but for now, he's in the World Wrestling Entertainment business. So we'll see what he's got going on with this match. I'm not too sure he's going to win it, but I know he's going to hit some nasty Mexican destroyers.
He's done pretty good with the whole Judgment Day storyline, the whole thing with Dominic Mysterio. I think it's been great. He's got lots of potential. I'm really liking Penta so far.
Yeah.
I like his whole thing, his whole costume. It's very nice.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
I'll give that to him. He's a pretty cool guy.
So
now, next we got Seth freaking Rollins.
Whoa.
Now we like Seth Rollins. I didn't like Rollins when he was a face, but now that he's a heel, I think he's starting to grow on me. I'd say. But he's got this new group with Paul Heyman, and goddamn, do they have some dogs on there?
Hell yeah.
They got my boy Braun Breaker. So Braun Breaker He's a great guy all around. Let's not go too much into him because he's not in this match, but I know he'll be interfering in this match alongside the other member, Big Bronson Reed.
Hell yeah.
And if Seth Rollins does win, I do want to see another one of them heists he done back a couple WrestleManias ago, because that was absolute cinema. Anyways, let's talk about Andrade. Loser! And what else can I say? Nothing much else. And let's get to our favorite pick of this entire qualifying batch. Let's talk about El Grande Americano! Now, a lot of people are saying stuff about El Grande Americano. He's this, he's that. I think he's one of the greatest luchadors to enter the business.
I'll tell you what I think he is.
What?
The GOAT! The GOAT!
That's what I like to see, that's what I like to hear, that's what I like to say. Now, El Grande Americano making his name up there in the WWE. But he will be winning this match, regardless of what people say. Now, on a different topic, hope Chad Gable has a great match with El Vikingo, and has no correlation to El Grande Americano whatsoever. I just wanted to wish Chad Gable good luck on that, and El Grande Americano even greater luck on his Money in the Bank match.
Women's qualifiers.
We can't talk about the men's qualifiers without talking about the women's qualifiers. Let's get into this. Now, Alexa Bliss, she's a company veteran and she's making somewhat of a return. It hasn't been too...
It hasn't really been anything crazy. I mean, she's got a little something going with Charlotte Flair, but...
Besides that, yeah, who cares about Charlotte Flair now? So, anyways, past that, we got Roxanne Perez. Now, she's looking like she's doing pretty good. She's got this whole storyline going on with the Judgment Day, which could be in her favor because it looks like they're letting her in pretty easy. I don't know about Liv, but I know Dominic might ease in with her. So, past Roxanne Perez, her being great and all, let's talk about Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley's a favorite among the community of wrestling, and she is one of the GOATs of her division. She changed the entire game, but I don't see her as a likely winner of this Money in the Bank, per se.
Yeah, I feel like she's had her moments to shine. She's been shining the company for a very long time. They got to give that shine to someone else, at least for a while, you know?
Yeah.
So
I see it going to up-and-comer. Now, talking about up-and-comers, let's talk about Julia. Julia's from another company. She was just on NXT, but I'm not too sure if she's really material for Money in the Bank just yet. She has a great ring IQ and all that, but she's not great on the mic. She might need a manager. Anywho, let's talk about Naomi. Now, I see Naomi as an underdog of sorts, and she's had one hell of a heel run. I liked her when she was a face, but she's doing even better as a heel. I like the whole thing she's got going on. How about you?
yeah, Naomi right now probably has one of the most entertaining storylines we've seen in the women's division in a long time. Her whole thing with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill has just been very well. Very well put together. She's great in the ring. She works well with Bianca and Jade. I think they got great synergy. They got great, everything. It's all been very, very well done and put together. Very good on WWE for doing that. And Naomi.
I'd like to say that. But let's talk about our favorite for this match. Let's talk about Stephanie Vaquier. Stephanie Vaquier comes from another company. I believe she was, correct me if I'm wrong, but she has made her debut on NXT. And she became double champion, which is one of the first NXT double champions since the Bearcat, Keith Lee. And she made her main roster debut not too long ago, so I feel like she's got this in the bag. She's got a great moveset and everything. Not too sure about on the mic, but I'm sure she's going to be one hell of a Money in the Bank holder. Now, let's go into our complaints.
Complaints.
All right. So let's talk about our complaints for the Money in the Bank, per se. Let's talk about how Karrion Kross wasn't put in the match. Now, this
is tragedy.
Tragedy.
There's so much potential.
One of the worst things they could have done for the Money in the Bank whole storyline and everything, because Karrion Kross would have been a great holder. He's got that great energy to him. He would have been all mysterious and everything. You would have never known when he would have cashed in on one of these suckers. However, let's not get too carried away on Karrion Kross. Let's talk about how much we love Drew McIntyre, but we shouldn't have another cash-in like last year. I like my cash-ins with a little bit more longevity. I don't like them right off the bat, especially if you're gonna fail. I love you, Drew McIntyre, but
Not very great.
not very great work by that.
They gotta have Money in the Bank has to have a little more tension, a little more meaning.
Of course, it has to have meaning.
Everything.
Of course. Now, past that, let's talk about Jey Uso as a champ. It's not really the best. It's terrible, actually. He's great.
Very bad.
Great with the crowd. Great with people. But he's just not my champion.
He really has no. I don't know. He
just
seems very basic.
He's very basic. He doesn't have. He has the same 3 moves, and it's terrible. Everyone will tell you the same thing, and I believe them. That's why it's being said. Now he's got a match at this Money in the Bank, and we'll get into later why I don't like this match. But just know that having Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso on the same team again versus John Cena and Logan Paul, now that's just terrible booking. What are you doing, Hunter?
Right there.
Talking about Hunter doing a bunch of stuff like this, outrageous acts. Let's talk about your release of R-Truth. Now the release of R-Truth is terrible. Makes me sad, breaks my heart. R-Truth, he was making it watchable. Look, between segments of matches, seeing R-Truth just go out there, be silly, and live his life. It was heartwarming.
Was one of the only wrestlers. He didn't need a storyline. He didn't need anything. You put him out there with a mic, the crowd cheers.
Crowd goes wild.
You put him out there with no mic, the crowd cheers. You mention R-Truth, the crowd cheers. But no.
You release him.
They had to release him. They just had to. Because Triple H is a racist. And Chris Benoit needs to come back from the dead. And you know what he needs to do? To go straight to TKO headquarters, and he needs to including Triple H, including Stephanie McMahon, and he needs to bring R-Truth back to the WWE where he belongs.
Don't worry, little Frank's okay. But yeah, that's how I feel about R-Truth being released. And let's talk about how the match for Money in the Bank isn't CM Punk versus Cena. Now they add history. The pipe bomb was iconic. Now you're not gonna have Cena on his last run it back with Punk. Yeah, you're not gonna do that. Hey, nice job, Hunter. But anyways, let's have our closing statements.
I'm gonna sue the WWE.
Alright, and with our closing statements for this video, let's go Paces.
Halliburton. He's gonna win it for the team.
Of course. Let's go Panthers! And let's go. Oh, no. Vámonos! El Grande Americano! Stephanie back here! Now, on our locks, those are all locked in. Now, you know what else is locked in? Me and Cav. Yeah, I think that was a pretty good lock of the week, Cav. I think we did pretty good this episode. What would you say?